I went to another Lorcana League thing today, and I went 2-1 with this weird deck. It's got the Hades Infernal Schemer in it. If you didn't know about it, it says when you play this character, you may put chosen opposing character into the player's inkwell face down. So you're kind of helping them out by giving them an ink, but Hades is kind of the star of the show for our late game removal. I'm going to talk about the deck. We're going to talk about our matchups and what went wrong. So our first match, we played against Joe again, just like I said in the Friday video. I played against Joe again on Sunday, and Joe's playing a discard deck, but he's also able to bounce stuff with the muses, and some of these cards have 2 strength, and we'll talk about that. But what he was mostly able to do was sing Strength of the Raging Fire, because I'm not removing any of his characters. I'm hoping to build a huge board and then quest for a whole lot. You'll see the deal that we get to. So starting off, we got 3 Hades. He's late game. Just wanted to start him off to show you that we got some big bodies in this. But the core of the deck is that we're going to ramp up to 6 ink, and then we're going to top deck. So in the next coming weeks, I really hope to play this new heihei, and heihei does what this deck does, but so much worse. So I'm super excited for that, because heihei says you put your entire hand into your inkwell, and that's just kind of crazy. But this is literally, I think, the same amount of math with the amount of ramping that you can get with a Sail and Tipo. So Tipo, we play 4 of the Tipo because we need to ramp to be able to get to our 6 cost. We're not playing any low cost characters except for the Tipo, just so we can get to these big numbers. We need to be able to ramp as much as possible, as fast as possible, and Tipo lets us do that on turn 2. And then we got 4 Sail the Azurite Sea. Sail the Azurite Sea is pretty cool because it also replaces itself. It says you can ink an additional card and you can draw a card. So you might be just net 1 down because you're going to play this card, you're going to draw a card, and then you're going to ink a card and ink another card. Maybe you're net 2 down. I don't know how that math works, but this is the core of ramping. Like, these are our ramp cards. We also put in 4 Fishbone Quills as a backup to the backup of the backup. And this one is Japanese. Look at that. That was pretty cool. So we like that. 4 of the Fishbone Quills, the backup of the backup to the core of the deck. And then turn 1, we're hoping to get the popsicle. So like, I'd usually mulligan to get a turn 1 popsicle, or at least one of these ramp pieces. Need at least 1 ramp piece, preferably these 2, and a popsicle. So the dream hand is those 2 in the starting hand. That's the dream. But if your opponent is like bouncing characters back, or if they put like a Calhoun down, you don't want to put the Tipo down. You want to hit the Sail the Azurite Sea, and then they won't have a character to banish anyways. Like, lots of the time, I'd have 2 Tipos down, and then I wouldn't even bother questing them. I would just pass the turn without questing them. So 4 popsicles. The popsicle package that I saw Din play for the winner of the DLC Melbourne, one of the big Disney Lorcana championships, he played 4 popsicles and 3 Hiram Flavershams. And I think that's the way to go. The 4-3 line, it just makes sense. You draw some cards, and then eventually, like, this won't be a dead card draw. If I play it, I get to do it. And we like that. So that's kind of the core of what's going on. So after you've ramped up to 6 ink as fast as possible, after that, all that's in here is only 5+ cards. So Tipo and Hiram are for other stuff, but then after that, only huge body cards hit the board. So we got 4 of the Maleficent. Maleficent is a 3/6, but she quests for 3. And we're hoping to play her as early as turn 4? Yeah, we can't do it any earlier. But turn 4, it's either going to be like we're top decking. Hopefully we have no cards in our hand and we are just top deck monstering. So in the future update with the heihei version, I don't think that we're going to go for these 5 cost cards. I think we're going to go 6 and higher, and all the 5 cost cards will be cut out of here. But this week, what I tried out was I had a couple 5 cost cards, but I think in the new heihei build that comes out for Arcasia's Island, I want to change it to only be 6 cost cards, even though she's all right with the 3/6 stat line. You know what's even worse than a 3/6 stat line is a 3/6 stat line that costs 2 more. You're telling me that Maleficent costs 5, but Chief Tui, the exact same stats, the 3 lore, 3 willpower, 6 willpower, 3 strength, 6 willpower. This one costs 7, this one costs 5. Why? It's because Chief Tui has support, but we're not using him support. We're using him to quest for big numbers, but he was ink anyway. All of my matches today, which I played 3 rounds and I played 3 games each, so I played 9 matches today. every time I saw Chief Dewey, he went into the drink. He did not make it onto the board because I had other stuff to play, other big bodies. What would you rather have, a Chief Dewey that's a 3/6 or the big old lion that's a 4/6? That means it can't get, you guessed it, Medusa. So we got that going on. The 3 copies, no, we ran all 4 of the Mufasa. We had 3 of the Robin Hood Unrivaled Archers. This is from set 1. And I played this mostly because how I went about building this deck is I have these boxes and I pulled out this box that said Rise of the Floodborn Set 2's Sapphire Steel. And then I went through that and I picked out my big bounties and put it in this deck. And that's how the deck building experience went about. I picked out set 1 and set 2 cards and I just built the deck real quick because I was excited to get to the card shop and play some cards with my friends. We got one Gaston because I didn't look all the way through set 2 Sapphire, but maybe I should have. But those are all of the Sapphire big bodies that we got going on. Gaston's pretty cool. If you haven't played them, check them out. And any of those cards can sing our hand refilling song. A whole new world. Your opponent discards their hand, and then we draw 7 cards. They also draw 7 cards, but that's besides the point. This card, kind of the MVP. This is definitely going to go in the heihei bill. We had 2 of them because we only have 2 of them. I think we have one more in the collection binder over there that we're going to put in. Remind me to put those in. But the Wreck-It Ralph's super good. So you could quest for 3, but that's not all the lore you're getting for questing. If your opponent has a chosen item or location, or even if it's your own location or item, you can get 5 lore from questing with this bad boy. You get 3 lore from the quest, and then 2 lore from using his ability to banish chosen item or location. So Wreck-It Ralph, kind of a must. Super good. Really love to see it. Tinkerbell was usually one that we kept in our opening mulligan because Tinkerbell does 1 damage on play. But I was playing against a green-purple today, and the green-purple had a Diablo at library. So if I would have played this, it would have done the 1 damage to Diablo, and then it would have taken out the bird. They would have drawn 2 cards. They had an Emerald Chromacon on board, so then they would have been able to bounce a card back to my hand, and then they had 2 Maleficent Staff. It was a crazy combo deck, but it got me. I had 19 ink, but there was nothing I could do because I just got bounced back. It was okay because this was just okay. This is by no means a good competitive deck. This was for funsies, and I sure did have a lot of fun playing the huge bodies, playing the Wreck-It Ralph and saying, I'm going to get your locations. That's what it's all about. And then we got 6 cost. We got 3 of them. We got 3 of the Cronkety Bonkety. You might say, why do I call them Cronkety Bonkety? Because that's right. Right back here we have Robbity Bobbity, and we got Cronkety Bonkety. So we played 3 of the Kronks, and it has a 6/6, so that was super useful for taking out those big locations, which there was a whole bunch of locations today that I had to deal with, and Cronkety Bonkety could do that. We got 3 Robin Hoods. Probably should make it 0 Robin Hoods because he doesn't really fit into this too well, especially when we want to get to 6 ink and play our 6 cost bodies. Robin Hood isn't the best for that. Same with Beast. We're playing the 4 Beast mostly because we have the 4 Beast. And like, I guess it helps. Like, it can get us the extra card draw, which is cool. So we can be able to ink a little bit more and play 2 cards. There was lots of games today where I had like 10 ink and I had played 2 beasts in 1 turn. And that was kind of a wombo combo. We got 2 of the Cinderella. The Stout Heart is got a 5/5 stat line and it's got resist too. So it's absolutely huge. I paired the Cinderella with another card to take out some locations. Like Cinderella would have to challenge locations. Eli that I was playing against, Eli had a Pirates deck, the John Silver at the red locations, and we had to take out his locations. And Cinderella was able to do that for us with the giant amount of strength that they have. And then the cards that we probably shouldn't play. I took out all the other 8 cost cards because I was like, I want to stop at 8. I'm not going to do it, but we showed Gantu some love. We put him in the deck. He's going to be in the heihei deck, so why wouldn't he be here? And then I was thinking about this green steel player, Joe, the guy who I played in the first round. I was like, you know what? Joe's got a whole bunch of 2 strength characters, and they're not going to be able to challenge the Gantu. Not that he would even challenge into him. I don't know what my thought process was there. And then we got the one of Taka, mostly, again, because I pulled out the set 1 box. And I was like, hey, Taka. So this is Taka, just a way worse Robin Hood. Robin Hood only hits for 3, and this can hit for 5, and then you get 2 lore. But, like, imagine this, and then the Mushus and stuff. I don't know how it goes. But that's what we played today, and everything was all right. We, again, went 2-1. but we were just out there to be gamers. So after a bit of a shuffle, you can see our starting hand that we would get, and then you can see what we mulligan for. You can see, ooh, 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 bad deal. What we'd keep is probably this fishbone to guarantee our ramp, and then we'd throw all the rest of these back. This was probably one of the worst hands I've saw all day. So we'll keep the fishbone. We'll give it a couple shuffles. I like to do 7 shuffles because I read somewhere that 7 is the most amount of randomizing a deck could ever get to, but I don't know. And then I offer my opponent a cut. They'll cut the deck, and then we'll draw 6 more. 3 and 3. So do we get the TPO? Do we get the ramp cards? No. This was a super bad opening, and this would cause us to lose the game. But we'd probably start off, we'd look at it, and we'd be like, oh, yeah, there's no way that we're ever getting to 8 ink. We'd ink that, and then we pass, and then we draw. We got a TPO, so that's going to be good for us. We're going to ink the big things that we can't get to. We can't get to the Cinderella right away. And then we play the TPO, and then we'd be looking, we'd be like, does our opponent really want the extra cards? And I'd be like, and then we'd put the Crockety Bockety into the inkwell from T-Po's ability. And we don't have to reveal it. We get our next turn, we get Beast. We'd probably play down our Fishbone for 3, and then we'd ink Beast, and then we tap this to probably ink the Mufasa is what I do. And then I draw again. And then at this point, I have 5 ink, and I can have a 6 guaranteed. So I'd probably just tap the Fishbone Quill to ink the TPO and not reveal it to my opponent. So I keep that part a mystery, and then I can put down my Tinkerbell. So what is that? That's like turn 4, and now we're at the 6 ink where we can get all of our big bodies on board. We have the whole new world, and then we have top deck mode. So next turn, we just play that Maleficent, or we'd sing Whole New World, and then we get 7 more cards. That's 8. Put that one back, and then we can just go crazy from there. Like the Fishbone Quill, we'd probably ink this, and then we'd fishbone that one. And then we have crazy amounts of ink that we can get this turn. So we could pay 2 for Tipo. Tipo could ink the Robin Hood. We could pay another 2 for Sail the Azurite Sea. That could draw us a card, and then we can ink an additional card. We can pay 2 for Sail the Azurite Sea, draw a card. We can ink an additional card. We can ink this. We can ink that. We can tap our Fishbone and ink that. And now check it out. All these are ink, and it goes crazy. And then next turn, boom, Whole New World. Never fails. And then you'd be able to get 7 more cards, and then just figure out the best ones that you want to play. Like, oh, your opponent has a location. Oh, boom, Wreck-It Ralph's here to take it out. So that's why we kind of played it. That was our opening mulligans. Like, you could see even how, like, kind of a bad opening, we were able to ramp and then get some luck with the T-pos to ramp us a little bit more, get the Whole New Worlds to refill our hands. That's what we did. We liked it. It was kind of a whole mood, but I'm really excited to change this deck out for the new heihei next week, but probably not next week because we'll be doing sealed events next week. I've played a few versions of this deck in the past, mostly with the amber color instead of steel, with the Mufasa that lets you play a character from the top of your deck if it's a character. But this way feels kind of fun because you're able to ramp and play even better big body characters like Tinkerbell or like Cinderella to be able to get rid of some of your opponent's aggression. But that's what we got going on. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1 million subscribers.